All right, well, hello. I am so excited to have Aaron here, Chef Aaron. And
Hi.
I do feel like he is the youngest guest that we've had so far. And I just told Aaron, when you're at my vantage point, those are bragging rights. Like, I don't get to say I'm the youngest in the room anymore, usually. So, but Aaron has got an amazing chocolate cake.
Yep.
And so he is here to show you what he does and how he does it. And I just want to say, I love this because when I was thinking about having Aaron over and what we would talk about, just try new things. Try new things. He is a chef, and I think he's probably going to go places with his cooking and his culinary abilities. And he's trying new things. At 10, everything is new. And so I just love this because nobody's ever going to stop eating, right?
Yep.
And nobody's ever going to stop eating chocolate cake, I don't think. I mean, seriously, I would want to eat chocolate cake every day.
Yeah.
What about
me too.
you? Is that your favorite thing?
Yeah, I love chocolate cake.
Why did you pick this recipe in chocolate cake?
Because chocolate cake, I feel like it's like, instead of just having like spaghetti, I feel like it's better. It's more sweet and loving.
It is more sweet and loving. I love that. And is this cake recipe, is there any special meaning to you on it?
It's been passed down from my family, from somebody at my grandmother's church. What's the word?
Is it a Baptist church?
Yes.
Or secretary?
It's the secretary got it.
Hey,
Get it down.
I've noticed throughout my life that secretaries of churches usually have the best recipes, and I think we're going to find out here too. And I was looking at your recipe card, and before you get started, I wanted to show everybody, because this is called sweet and this is called loving, just like you did. It's not clean. There's all kinds of stuff all over the recipe book, and that's exactly what you want. This actually shows, before I even taste this later on, which please let me taste it later on. I'm kind of a big chocolate cake fan myself. That there's just a lot of love and a lot of work that's gone into this. This means all of these stains, this means that it's a good recipe right there. In fact, if I walked into your house and I saw this, I would come and be like, okay, I know that's a good recipe. So I want you to talk to everybody about, what do you do? How do you make this cake?
So first you have to sift all the flour and the sugar and a little salt and
Some baking soda?
baking soda.
Okay, and why do we sift? I'm curious about that.
So it wouldn't have all the clumps like in the flour. There's small clumps, so it would be all smooth, so you wouldn't have clumps in the cake.
Okay, well, show me how you sift. That makes a lot of sense. So you're pouring it in.
So first you gotta pour it in.
Okay, and that's about 2 cups of flour, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'll take this from you.
And 2 cups of sugar.
Okay, you just pour it right in there where the flour is. Okay, let's wait just a little bit because it's kind of spilling over. Now, do you want to go ahead and just put it right in the bowl?
Well, I'll just sift this for now, this little bit right here.
Okay.
And then I'll add in all that other stuff.
And I don't know if you guys can see this, but the flour is getting really fine-grained, which is perfect because everything's going to be able to mix in together so much more easily because it's all about the same.
Now I'm going to pour in the
Okay.
salt and
Perfect.
baking soda.
All right. Awesome. And these were pre-measured out. Yeah. Everything's getting the same consistency and very, very even. I love how you're doing that on a plate. I've never done that before, but I might have to start doing that. That's a really good way. That way you can kind of see it all coming together.
And one way I do it is we hit the extra stuff on the sides.
Oh, that's a good tip. Okay. And you're getting it all out. Okay.
As much as you can get.
Perfect. All right. So let's be very careful as we get it in. In fact, let me take the paddle off.
Yeah, that
just
really
so
help.
Get it off here. All right. Oh, and then I love it because you put it on the paper plate and it just kind of, you can fold it in. That's actually better than just like a normal plate, right?
The normal plate, like the ones we have, they're about the size and like all the stuff would dump off on the sides.
Okay, I have never done that before, and that is a very, very good tip. Erin, you've already taught me something. Seriously, I love that. Okay, so we've got all the flour and the sugar, the baking soda, and the salt in there, and now what's
We
the
gotta
next?
go to the stove.
Okay, so let's go to the stove because I think there's some magic stuff that's happening over there. Okay, so now we're at the stove, and there's something extra with that, isn't there? Mm-hmm. Okay, tell me what's going on over here.
So we'll have to pour in the water and the oil, and then we'll have it heat up, and the butter and the cocoa to make it. And then we'll add it to the dry ingredients.
Okay, so we probably need to add the butter first, right, to help
Yeah.
it start melting. So it looks like you're putting in a half a cup of butter, which is 2 of those half sticks. So
Yep.
you're putting a whole stick of butter in, which is a half a cup of butter. And we're going to let that get melty over there.
No.
And I would go ahead and probably put the oil in too, but the oil and the butter can start heating up together because they're both the same
Yeah,
kind.
go ahead and put this in.
Now, did you say that what kind of occasions do you and your family use the cake for, or is it just for whenever?
We normally use it for when we do like birthdays, or in this case, we did it for when we were practicing for this.
Okay. So darn, then you had to eat the cake, didn't you?
Yep.
How many cakes did you make when you practiced it?
Probably 3 times, but over the course while we were waiting.
Yeah. So then did you guys have to like go out and run marathons afterwards to work off that?
Nope.
No, because you probably are active anyway at school, aren't you?
Yep.
What kind of things do you like to do to be active?
I like to go on bike rides, and at school I like to play soccer and tag, and that gets out all my energy. And once I eat lunch again, I go back outside, and I just do more soccer and tag.
And I bet that really works off the chocolate cake,
Yep.
doesn't it? So is this like a standard birthday that everybody has for their birthday cake, or does anybody ever say, no, I don't want chocolate cake, or they always say, I have to have this chocolate cake?
Well, in my family, we have different cakes that we make, and we do there's a German chocolate,
Ooh.
and there's I think German chocolate's the one where we have it stacked on top of each other.
Like a layer cake?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then do you put coconut and nuts on the frosting, or is it just coconut or just nuts? I know some people...
I think it's coconut and nuts.
Okay. Then you do it like the classic way. Some people don't like coconuts. I have a sister that doesn't like coconut, and she never lets me forget it. And then, of course, nuts, some people can't eat. But yeah, if you can do coconut and nuts together, that's really good.
Yeah.
So why do you like baking and cooking so much?
It's because, you enjoy it and it's fun. Sometimes it's pretty easy when you're making just, lemon squares.
Oh, yeah.
Or, pasta. Because one time I made pasta because I saw a recipe in a book that I read. It was about a dog, and it said there was a recipe, and I made it, and I started loving it, and we made the meatballs with the spaghetti. It was really yummy.
You are making me hungry right now. So did you make the pasta from scratch, or was it just dry pasta and you mixed it all together because the ingredients were really good?
It was dry pasta. Since we had the recipe, we had all the ingredients one day and we made it, so we just have been making it.
Cool. Well, I can see that the butter is starting to melt and the oil and the water are getting hot. Which whenever I bake, I'm impatient about the butter so much because I want the butter to melt right away. But it definitely takes its time. Now this butter was probably out of the refrigerator a little bit, so it wasn't so hard cold. Now, whenever you're doing this, you put the cocoa in, you've put the butter and the oil and the water, and we're just kind of stirring it crazily together just to make sure it's...
How I normally do it is I stir it in one circle motion, and I go the other way because then it falls on each other, and I feel like it heats more of it up, and that's how I've been doing it.
I love the way you think on that, and you're right. I've never really done it like that. I mean, I think sometimes if people are right-handed, they stir one way. If they're left-handed, they stir another way. But this way, it kind of gets both ways, doesn't it?
Yep.
That's really neat. Okay, you've taught me 2 things so far. Is use a paper plate to sift and pour it in the bowl because it folds in, and now stirring in both directions so that it gets all kinds of opportunities to get really stirred in together.
But when I do it this way, I actually didn't learn it from my mom and dad. I did it on my own.
Okay, that means, Erin, that you are becoming your own chef because you're figuring out your own ways, and I love it. And that's why, we talked about try new things.
Yeah.
And it's very important to do what your mom and dad say about everything, especially cooking and hot in the kitchen. But then you're going to find your own way. You're going to try new ways to make it Erin specific. So I love that. And that's what people want to see. Why is your cake so good? Your cake might be actually better than your mom and dad's because you're going to do things differently even though it's the same recipe.
I think I like it better normally when I make it because it's like the joy and fun of making it with somebody or even on your own than like eating something that somebody else made. I just love when I make it on my own because I feel like it's better that way.
Yeah, and you've put your own stamp of success on there. Yeah, I have to watch this electric stove.
Yeah, we need to go ahead and pour it so it doesn't.
Okay, let's be very, very careful because it's hot.
We don't want that to separate.
And I don't know if anybody can see this or not, but it just, oh my gosh. It really actually smells like hot cocoa and it looks really good. So what we're going to do now.
We'll have to pour it in pretty fast.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Because it'll all separate if we don't.
So Erin's telling us that we have to pour it in pretty fast. In other words, I need to stop talking, which that's not the first time somebody's told me that. And now I'm going to be very careful on this
Probably
mixer.
put it out of 2.
Well, this one is I'm going to I know it splashes, so I should have put the splash guard.
Do you have something that's like block?
Yeah, I have a splash guard, but I'm going to I should have gotten it out, but I think if I just do this. Okay, now it should start. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've taken a bath with batter before.
I remember one time me, my brother, and my mom, we were making cookies, and we didn't have one of those things on. My brother actually turned it all the way to 10, so it just splashed out.
I know. And then did you make your brother clean it?
No.
He should have. That's what I'm always like. Please don't do this. Okay, so what's next?
So we'll have to put in the eggs, some vanilla. My family likes to do a little extra vanilla.
Why do you like to do extra vanilla? I'm curious.
Because, you can't go wrong with extra vanilla.
You can't go wrong with extra vanilla. Now, is that your thoughts? Did somebody tell you that?
My parents say that, and I don't really know the difference in it, but, it's just only a little extra. So I think we should just do it.
Yeah, vanilla gives things depth of flavor. So I'm right there with you. I've never known where you can't go wrong with a little extra vanilla. We should make T-shirts that say you can't go wrong with a little extra vanilla. That is some really good advice there. Okay. And then the extra vanilla. And then, Erin, you pre-mixed everything. You pre-measured it, but that was the vanilla, the buttermilk. I actually think you can't go wrong with putting buttermilk in cakes either. Okay, so let's lower this. And I'm going to kind of... Oh, sorry, did it splash out?
It splashed right there.
Okay, sorry about that. All right, so it's mixing. And how long do we let it mix?
Probably until all of it's in it and not like you see how it looks kind of white.
Yeah. Let's do something here. Let's take the rubber spatula because that white I think is the buttermilk that's still kind of on there. Yeah. Just kind of scrape the bowl with that. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so excited about tasting this chocolate cake. It's almost lunchtime and I haven't even had breakfast yet, so my stomach's reminding me of this.
You'll love this.
Okay, I can't wait. I think it would be like the best lunch ever.
Do you have a spoon rest?
I can put it right in there. Okay. And we'll start this again. I should have put the splash guard on here, so I'm going to kind of go like this. And then I wore sleeves that are kind of big. But all right. Well, it looks like it's getting time to pour into the pan.
Yep, probably in a sec.
And you prepared this pan special. Because it doesn't look like a normal pan.
You put, I can't think of the word, what's it called?
Is it like an oil and flour?
Crisco. You put Crisco on
Okay.
it and you rub it around, and then you put flour so all the batter doesn't stick to it. So I think we'll go ahead and stop this and pour it in.
Okay. And just put it towards like the window. No. Yeah, you got it. Okay, perfect. Okay. So we'll put this up. You know, I think of this verse in the Bible in Lamentations, your mercies are new every morning. And it's actually one of my favorite Bible verses, and it can be applicable to many different things, but also about just trying new things. Every day, every morning, we can try new things.
Yep.
And I think that you coming on the show and showing us this chocolate cake, and then you putting some new things in it as well, like the way you stir your cocoa and the way you like to make the cake. You know, if you're like me, when somebody eats your creations and they go, then that's all the reward you need, right? Because you've made that person say, And I think eating is loving, like you said.
Yeah, because my aunt, she actually came up because she was coming for like a concert festival thing. And I baked it because we were practicing. So I was like, we probably need to practice one more time. And she came with a friend, and they were like, because I had to
You
try.
did it. And I bet your heart swelled, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, because you made your aunt say, And throughout your whole life, you're going to be able to hear people say that. And you're going to know, oh, yeah, it kind of gets like, oh, you got it. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. And then you can just pour it in there. I bet it's kind of warm, too, because you would heat it up, everything. I'm going to help. Get it all spooned in there. Oh, my gosh. This smells so good.
I know.
I knew one person, actually it's my son-in-law, he's allergic to chocolate. And I just thought to myself, that poor man. Like, he has to go through life not eating chocolate. So there's some people that have to deal with that, but we don't, right?
Yep.
We're not born allergic to chocolate. So.
Yeah, because one of our neighbors that actually go to our church, it's somebody named Bob and Carla. He's allergic to a lot of things, but he wasn't allergic to this cake.
Perfect. We can find different ways to love everybody, no matter what their eating needs are. And I know I've talked a lot about this before, but loving people is feeding them, and it's also finding out what's good for them. So what do we do next?
So next we gotta set it in the oven.
Okay, so let's do that. You want to carry it?
Yeah.
And I'll open the stove for you. And we have the stove preheated to 350 degrees. So all you have to do is just put it in there. And then, very carefully. Now, how long should we set the timer for?
Normally, so you probably want to do it, at our house we did it for 35 minutes.
Okay.
But sometimes when you stick a toothpick in it, it comes out like wet. So we normally do it for 40 minutes.
So do we want to test it at 35?
Yeah, we probably will. If the toothpick comes out clean, then then you definitely want it to...
I think that's smart.
It's definitely good.
And that's really a good thing, because not everybody's ovens are the same.
Yeah.
And sometimes the elevation, even, because we're all here in Bentonville, but we're on top of a hill here, so sometimes even that affects it, like if somebody's down on a flat ground somewhere. So we're going to test it at 35 minutes. It could go to 40, so we're going to test it. All right, so what's next while we wait?
While we wait, you'll probably want to do the icing once there's probably 10 minutes left on the cake.
Okay.
But while you wait, you could probably clean up and all that.
I'm all for that. And we can sit and drink tea while we're waiting for it. Okay, so we'll be back when it's about 10 minutes before the cake comes out to make what I understand is a delicious
chocolate cake
and frosting. So you said that we needed to wait about 10 minutes before the cake comes out. So what's happening now? Because it's about 10 minutes.
So now, since we have the time left, you'll start like finishing getting like together, not all buttery, like baked to where it's a solid instead of a liquid.
Okay.
And we'll start the icing with the powdered sugar.
Okay.
and we'll have to sift that so it's not all like clumped up together.
Sifting is where it's at, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So, is this your powdered sugar, and is it already measured out?
Yep, I think we just got to pour this entire bag in.
Okay, and then I'm going to put it in here, right?
Yep.
I'll hold this if you want to pour it right directly in.
Yeah.
So this time you're not using the paper plate method, which I actually love, and I can't wait to do it the next time I need to sift some stuff. Yeah, just let it all go in. Yeah. Awesome. Now I'm going to start sifting just to start moving it down, and then I'll let you finish the sifting.
Okay.
Because you are Chef Aaron and I am not. Here, okay. All right. Yeah, I love that sifter, but sometimes it's just kind of hard to do. Sometimes I think I need to...
It's like coming out the side.
Yes. Things in my house are old. I think it's because it was so much higher than where the handle is on that, but yeah. Your sifter at home, it's probably much more smooth than that one.
Well, it's probably because ours is also, I think, newer.
Yeah, yeah.
And it can probably fit more.
So sometimes, you use what you got, and this house, you know what? I think I'm going to tell my husband for a Christmas or birthday present I need a new sifter. I think that you've made me realize I need a new one for sure.
If you buy the newest version,
I need the newest
probably
version.
better than-
Right.
Though on YouTube I've seen somebody who can make old rusted things to brand new.
And this one might be a little bit rusty, isn't it? Okay. Did you get it all?
Yep.
You want to do that little...
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
Yeah. I think you got it. All right.
There.
So what's next? You got it all leveled out.
So once you do this, you have to go back to the stove.
Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to let you go ahead of me. So what is here on the stove?
So we already put in our butter, and it got a little heated.
Okay.
And then we'll have to put in our cocoa and our buttermilk.
All right. So we put in a stick of butter, which is a half a cup of butter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then pour that in. Man, there's just something about buttermilk. I think it's the tang of it and then the creamy that makes everything really nice. And then the cocoa, which was that about 1/3 of a cup of cocoa?
Yeah, I think
Does
so.
that sound right? Okay. And I know that we'll post this recipe online whenever we show it. So viewers are going to be able to see the recipe. Okay.
And you can probably try it out to see if it's good. And if you love it, great, you can make it.
I bet they will love it. And whenever this shows, which people are probably watching this right now, I'm going to post online how, my critique of it, which you're going to hear it here shortly anyway, because it's getting close to being out of the oven. So what are you doing? You're just kind of...
So I'm just like swirling it around. And it's heating up a tiny bit.
Okay.
And I'm kind of like using this to cut the butter, so some of the smaller pieces will get melted faster.
Okay. All right. Now, have you told your friends at school that you're a chef?
Yep, I actually made my friend, since we obviously can't keep all of this cake, I made my friend Graham. I made him I gave his family some cake, and then I gave somebody else, like I already said, I gave them cake, and they asked for the recipe. It was that good. And then Graham, he also asked for the recipe, but since my weekend is packed, I haven't been able to make it yet.
You have a packed, busy weekend.
Yep.
Well, that's the ultimate compliment, is when you make something for somebody and then they ask you for the recipe. That is like the ultimate cooking compliment. So I think you totally got that.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about developing your own recipes?
I have seen cooking shows from places that are far out, in different places, but I haven't really thought about what I would make on my own. I was thinking about earlier, if I was in a show called Nailed It, and you could make anything, I would make this, and then I'd have like, have y'all ever seen the movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yes.
They'd have like a boat on that looking like a chocolate river.
Oh my gosh, I love the way you think. Well, like I talk about, try things new, step out, just do, whatever your creative juices are telling you to do. And lots of times I've made a few recipes myself, but they always came from an original recipe of somebody else's, and I tweaked it a little bit and made it a little bit different.
Yep.
And so, yeah, that's a good way, or you just can make it from scratch and start over. So how's it going? Is the butter almost melted?
It's
close.
almost melted. No, I don't think this is heated up enough.
Let me get that a little warmer. I'm always worried about this stove. It either gets things too hot or not hot enough, or there's just like this fine line.
There's still a little clumps of butter.
Yeah, you want to kind of yes, perfect. You just kind of wipe it off. It'll melt down there.
Yeah,
There you
and
go.
then you can see like.
Oh my gosh, it
clumps.
smells so good.
And then once we do this, we'll have to add it to that powdered sugar
Okay.
and mix it up, because
Okay.
right now I had almost forgotten that step. I was like, this is not enough icing. But you'll have to mix that to put it then on the cake.
Well, right now, even though
Take 2 minutes.
that smells amazing, it's not
Yeah.
sweet at all. So if we tasted it, it would not taste good. We would have to add the
Yeah,
powdered
and
sugar
once
to it.
we put this and have it getting mixed in a little more, we'll add the nuts.
Okay.
The cute.
It was pecans.
Pecans.
Yeah.
Say something.
Which pecans are actually my favorite nut. I mean, I like all nuts, but I'm pretty partial to pecans. So I'm glad you chose that.
I think we can do this because I think it's about to separate.
All right, let's bring this over. You can go ahead and bring that rubber spatula with us. Yeah. Okay. And if you want, I will hold the hot pan as you. Oh, I can see what you're talking about. It is separating a little bit. So yeah.
We want to quickly do this.
Yeah. Do we have time to quickly do it?
Yes, we will. Because once this happened yesterday and it was perfectly fine.
Okay, perfect. All right. So let's do this.
Set this back in.
Yeah.
Hurry. Do it.
And you kind of have to twist it and then it'll lock. Yeah, just like that. And let me put the paddle on there. Here, I'll let you take the rubber spatula. There we go. Now get to lock.
And I'll just.
All right.
Now.
Just do that like on, off, real quick. Okay. All right, wasn't so bad.
All you have to do is on, off.
Looks really
Once
good.
it's mixed around, then we'll.
Now, did you need to put any vanilla in that?
Yes, we
Okay.
will. I'll just put in a tiny bit.
And you know what I do? I kind of just go, like I'll just sometimes put like a little splash in.
Oh, can you grab 1 teaspoon?
Yeah, let me do that. There you go, sir. Awesome. You might want to put just a little bit extra because I don't know that it came all the way to the top. And I like what you said that your dad says, just a little bit extra. So we're going to do that here. Perfect.
There's the lid.
Oh my gosh, that
Now
looks
set
so good.
Yep.
All right, do we want to go check the...
Cake?
Yeah, let's go do that. We're dancing, aren't we?
Yep.
Okay, so we want to get your mitts. Oh, do we want to test it?
Probably will.
I forgot to bring the toothpicks, but I've got some right here. Let's just do this.
Oh.
So I'm going to pull this out. Oh, you know what? That looks pretty watery.
Or jiggly. Like
Jiggly,
yesterday,
yeah, okay.
So I can throw this away.
Just put it in the sink for now.
Okay.
So I think that's a very good thing to show everybody is
Yeah.
we tested it. It wasn't quite ready, so we're going to add 5 more minutes.
If you can see this, it has a little extra like chocolate. And if it's jiggly, then you know you'll want it to have it a little more.
Yeah.
Probably like 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, I put 5, but in a couple minutes we'll
Yeah.
test it. You want to do that?
That's
Okay.
probably about how long. Now,
All right. We dance when we go back and forth because we
Now I'll
actually
go
are
ahead
tethered.
and
Okay, yeah.
Stop
Now,
that and add the nuts.
And do you stir that by hand, or do you put
No,
put it in
I'll
the
just
paddle?
put the nuts in,
Okay.
and it'll mix on its own.
And let's kind of, you want to kind
Yeah.
of get some of the powdered sugar off of there too? Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm restraining myself from like putting my finger and licking my finger. I'm just doing this because you're the chef and not me. But it's hard to restrain myself right now. That looks
My
so
finger
good.
my finger hit it, so I'll have to lick.
Yeah, you're gonna have to lick now. Well, you know, the chef
Mhm.
always gets to lick. That's just how it is.
That was loud.
It's all good. Here you go. Ah.
Mmm, yummy.
All right. And then we can even
Yep,
lift it up.
and we don't need this like since it's like hardening. Since we have the hot cake, it won't be as bad.
Okay, cool. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the paddle off, kind of like,
Or even
Take it
use
in.
this to
Yeah.
like get the extra off.
you want to get a clean one? I think
That's
I'm
what
going
I
to get a
was
clean
thinking.
one, yeah.
I'll
I'll let
hold
you do
this.
that, and I'll go get a clean one. And that might actually help you kind of,
Yeah, because I knew there was still powdered sugar on that, and I didn't want to get
here's a tiny one that can probably help you
That
get
would
that off.
actually-
Yeah.
really help.
And then I'll get you like a wider one. I can't believe how many rubber spatulas I have sometimes. But anyway, this wider
We
one
have
might
like
be.
7.
You've got 7?
Yeah.
And I bet you use them all sometimes in one meal, don't you?
I think normally the most is like 2.
Okay. Man,
So
I
we
go through the
just
rubber
actually have a
spatulas.
bunch. I don't actually remember where we got them.
They just kind of collect throughout the years, I think. I like small ones, like that one, that green one that you have in your hand. I like to put that like in the mayonnaise jar sometimes, like when people are making sandwiches instead of a knife, and just whatever. There's many different ways.
Oop, and I think that is as much as I can get.
Okay, yeah, I think you did a good job on
I'll
that.
set this
Yeah, we'll
here.
just put it right there. You want to go check the cake?
Yep.
Okay, let's go do that. We're getting our exercise, which means we can eat more cake, right?
This might be just enough. Yep.
Perfect. All right. Hey,
Came out
Jinx.
clean.
Okay, did you want to carry it?
I will.
Okay.
I'll put on my gloves.
Okay, and I'm just going
My
to
gloves.
get out of the way. Man, that cake looks so good, Erin.
It'd be even better when that icing's on it.
Okay, I'm going to take your word for it.
I've honestly never seen gloves like these. This.
Okay, we can put it right
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Awesome. Oh my goodness, look at that. So now this is where the magic happens, right?
Yep. Get this, and we'll grab this to spread it.
Okay.
Oh, pour it.
And I don't know if it's going to pour. Do you want me to hold the bowl for you?
Well, can you hold this? thing?
Sure. Okay. And does it just start like melting when we put it on?
Yeah, like when you put it on, it'll
Oh
start.
man. I was already happy you came over to my house today, but now I'm even happier.
I was already happy when it said there's 2 minutes left.
All right. We can do that for us to just eat the. I'll let you
Yeah.
spread it.
I
Okay,
think
I
I'll try to
am licking
grab-
my finger, full disclosure.
I think I'll just get a little extra.
A little extra, okay. Oh my goodness, this looks so good. Oh, sorry. It's,
So I can hold on to it.
yeah, I have to do that sometimes. I like you just do it so, like almost tenderly, like just with a lot of care spreading that. Otherwise it might tear the cake a little bit, huh?
Yep.
I am so ready for this. This has been a long morning waiting for delicious chocolate cake. Oh yeah, and it does. It just kind of melts over it.
Yep.
Do you ever serve this with like ice cream too?
I don't think so.
I know my husband's a big ice cream person. He'd probably want to put ice cream with it since it's a hot cake.
Okay.
All right.
And where can I set this?
I guess you can just put it right here. All right, are we going to serve it up? We have some guests out here. We've got your mom and Pastor Michelle. You want to invite them to come eat with us?
Yep. First,
Okay.
we need probably a knife to cut it.
Okay. There you go. I come prepared.
And do you think we should do in 3 rows and like
I want you to
5
cut it
pieces in each?
however you want. You're the expert here. So we will. I even have a cake server. Oh, here.
Doing that.
I'm going to hold it. I hope you don't burn your hands too much. Oh my goodness, this looks amazing. Looks like you've done this a few times.
I actually have been watching my mom
Thank
do
you.
it a few times.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, I think that's a good way you just cut it.
Yeah, it's 3. It's like 5 rows and like,
So we got 15 pieces, right?
yeah.
All right. Do you want me to spoon it up, or do you want to do that?
I will serve it to y'all.
Okay. I'll take the knife. Haha. I am going to try it. It's really good. The pecans make it perfect.
Yesterday, I didn't have any pecans in it. Oh, this is falling apart.
That's okay. You know, that means it's really good. Ooh, look at how the steam is coming up. It did just come right out of the oven.
Grab it. This is harder.
I probably
I
gave
gotta
you.
get a fork.
Okay. Let me get a fork. I probably should have gotten the forks out anyway since we're going to eat.
I do not think this is helping me. Can you hold this? Because I do it better with a fork.
Okay. Well, you do. You know how to do your own cake, don't you?
Yep. One of y'all can have this deformed piece of cake.
I'll take the deformed piece. Oh, somebody else was raising. Pastor Michelle was. Okay. Okay, I'm going in. I'm going in right now. You know, it's almost kind of like cake meets brownie. You know, like it's really good.
Oh, they're all breaking.
Well, you know, that's because the camera's on, right? If nobody was here, it would come right out perfectly. Man, this is really good, Aaron. All right.
Next.
Pastor Michelle, since I mentioned you have to get on camera.
I know, right?
And now your mom, Claire. Come on.
Wow, the first perfect
got-
piece.
Well, of course, you've got to give your mom the best piece.
Mom's always get the best piece.
Yeah.
Right, let's see how you did.
Probably.
You guys aren't going to be hearing very many words from me right now because I'm just eating.
Good as always, kiddo.
It's fantastic.
Aaron, thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
doing this and coming on the show and giving some cooking pointers. I'm going to use them. Try new things, get out there, find out what motivates you, and then love people with it, right? Like with the food, you're loving people with it. Can't go wrong.